Hey, I know it's the start of the year, but I know people have different goals, like to learn a language, but how do you even go about doing that? Like, what are the best apps? What are the best methods? Do I get a book? Do I take a class? How do I do it? Well, I'm gonna show you some good ways to start learning a language. And the first thing we're going to do is talk about apps that are pretty good to start out learning language. I would say the first good app to go to would be an app I was actually recommended, which was it's called Busuu. I'm gonna have like all the apps linked in the description down below. They have a paid version, but also they have a free version too. Duolingo is an okay start. I've used like Duolingo before, but I will never tell anyone that they should use Duolingo because it moves incredibly slow at a snail's pace. Not to say that you cannot learn anything off of Duolingo. You definitely can, and also if you just need to use it to keep up with things, you can. But Busuu is so much better. I'm sorry, this is actually going to sound like a little bit like an ad, but Busuu is like, okay, so Busuu has a couple things actually that you definitely would need to learn a language. For one, unlike Duolingo, it has actual native speakers speaking the languages that you are learning. So you can actually pick up on like the accent and how it's actually said in the real world. On Duolingo, it is usually an AI generated voice. I've heard some languages where they actually do have like a real person doing it, doing the voice. You can hear it. For one, I'm just going off of one that I have heard before, Scottish Gaelic, when I was looking at learning that. But yeah, it's just not the best in my opinion. So I would definitely say that Busuu is probably a top tier one. Another good one that's a good paid program is paid app. I mean, is Babbel. And Babbel is actually, I think it's all paid. The last time I went on to it, I believe I was only able to do like one lesson, and then it told me to like that you have to pay to use the rest of the app. So it is like a paid program, but yeah, it's a pretty good one. Busuu is 70% off right now at the start of the year. So if you do want to use Busuu, you can get like 70% off, or do anything with that. But yeah, honestly, I would say apps are pretty good in general to get a good start, but it depends on the app that you're going on, because some apps, they don't really want you to get off the app. That's why I'm pushing you more towards Busuu, because Busuu actually wants to get you off the app. It even tells you as you're starting, like after you get done with your first lesson, it tells you how many days you have until you get to the next level, like an A2 level or D1 level in what you're learning. So I think it actually is probably the best thing to do. Now for topic 2, I'm going to talk about classes. So with classes, it's a little bit complicated if I am going to be completely honest with you. With classes, if you're looking to like move to a country and get a certificate, classes are a must at that point. And I would say yes, definitely get a class, go to a class. Also, you don't always, if you don't feel like you're ready to be around like a class, there are also Discord servers that you can get into for free for most languages. I'm in one for Spanish. I feel like that is something that people don't talk about a lot, is that you can, just find different people and connect with them and see how your language sounds in a judgment-free environment. I think that is a really good thing. Classes, yeah, if you really feel like you need them and you are ready for them, I would say go ahead and do it, because classes do cost money. That's why I'm saying you might want to hold back on actually going to a class and go into a few Discord servers first that are like language learning, so that way you can like have language swaps and stuff like that. Like somebody might want to learn English and might be in the same position as you, right? So I think that will probably be that's how I feel about that for the year. I think, if you're at that point, go do it. Also, you might need it for a job or something, definitely go do it. But in general, if you don't feel like that you're at that point to pay the $200, $300, or $400, you probably should just go to a Discord server so that we can you can build that confidence up, because you're talking with people, so you can build that confidence up a lot more. Yeah, I would say that's it. Let's go to the last thing I was going to talk about. Last thing was going to be books, but I will say I'm going to put books and other things, other forms of media that you can have in this. Honestly, I would say that a good way to learn, that books are pretty good in general, but I will also say that along with the books, you probably like books are good in general. They can definitely help, and especially like if you're trying to learn phrases very quickly, if you're going to a country, books definitely will help. But I will say that you probably look at TV and look at music and movies. Look at like YouTube channels. Look at like any YouTube channel that is like any YouTube channel that's from that country that you're trying to go to or something like that, and they talk in the language. That is such a good thing. Even if you have to read subtitles, it will immensely help your time trying to learn a new language. It is literally the most beneficial thing you can do. Also, there are a lot of free channels where you can just put them on as you go to sleep, and it'll just play phrases and like different words that you might not have known. So that way you can it kind of builds up in your subconscious to the point where you can just go for it. And you can just, you will know as soon as you see these words, you'll be like, oh, I don't know where I know that word from, but I am kind of familiar with the word. Or also, you would still know, like, say like if you want to learn Colombian Spanish and it is like it might be like some Colombian Spanish pod, like Spanish 101 pods or whatever, that actually have have phrases specific to that region, right? And you just can listen to that, and then you actually start to understand the phrases. And also that ties into music, ties into TV shows. Especially when I was in school learning Spanish, I watched a lot of Money Heist. It's a pretty good show on Netflix, but yeah, you can watch literally anything. Also, that's another app I would also recommend highly if you're learning a language, is Lingpie, because whatever language you're learning in, you can make flashcards of that language from the shows that they have on there. They have shows, they have podcasts, they have movies. So yeah, definitely I would say do that. But yeah, like just look up media that is in your wheelhouse, right? So that is also another thing I wanted to bring up, because it's not just books and not just classes and not just apps. You have to do a little bit of everything. And also I would say the easiest some people might say it's a lazy way, I turned my YouTube to to Spanish, so that way I can get like Spanish ads, so that way I'm lazily, quote unquote lazily, just going into it. I'm quote unquote lazily just still hearing Spanish as I'm might be looking at my favorite YouTube channels and stuff like that. Like it's also about doing stuff in such a automatic way, so that way your brain just picks up on it. Because what you need is the word is it's a comprehensible input. That's you need to keep filling your brain with whatever language you're learning, and that is how it actually does work. Now, I did want to say this at the end of the video, that you know, it's been pretty fun. I know it was going to be a short video today, but I do have another video planned for the end of this week. And yeah, I want to say you guys Happy New Year's. Also, yeah, this is going to be the channel. It's going to be an English learning channel. So I'm going to actually try to, like, you know, teach you guys English and basically do it in like a fun sort of way. So, you know, might have some vlogs, might have some videos like where I like I show you what it is and you have to say what it, like, you know, like what it is I'm holding up, and then I'll tell you the answer. I'm thinking, like, you know, doing some fun creative like things to try to teach English with this channel. So yeah, thank you for coming to the video, and bye bye, Happy New Year.